All right, welcome to the Sunday night weekly markup. So, with Euro USD, first off, let's just say this right here is what I look at every single week. This is the top 20 Forex pairs, and I'm going to show you how I like to look at them to set us up for the week. So the market opens at I think it's 6 p.m. every single Sunday night. So yeah, let's get straight into it, man. First things first, we are going to identify the trend. So from this top high right here, right, the highest body close, we're going to the low. So this is a lower low, lower high, since we failed to go above that. And then we broke this level right here, telling us that this is a downtrend. So there is no reason at all why we would want to buy, right? And so on the weekly, meaning that each one of these is a week long. Let me make sure I did this right. Yeah, so we're rolling. Cool. So looking at the weekly here. So this right here is last week's candle. We open and then we went high, which is the top of this wick, and then we went low, which is the low of this wick, and then we closed right here. And we closed inside of the body, indicating that we want to push lower, taking out the bottom of this wick or some type of support zone. So let's get straight to it, man. So on the daily chart, right? So first things first, we have to have the weekly and daily aligned with the same overall trend. So we're looking at the daily now. So daily is looking bearish. So what we would do is we would also add weekly bearish, daily bearish as well. So that's exactly what we want to see. I'm going to get rid of this RSI down here very quick. So then we are going to go to our 12-hour. So let's start at key zones, right? So as we can see, we have some reactions right here. We have 1 reaction, 2, 3 reaction, 4, and then 5 and 6 touches on this daily resistance level, meaning that that is a key level. So key levels have got to have at minimum 3 touches to show that a lot of transactions want to be posed here, right? So like right here, we broke through and then we came back up. We come back down, we break up again, and the same thing. So what's happening at this level right here is up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So there's once you have a big down, big up, down, big up, big down, back to big up. If there's big up and big down, there's big confusion, which means that there's a lot of money there, or aka liquidity. So going along with the trend here, this is Euro USD. Let's go into, so we already have the weekly and daily aligned in the same trend. So let's see what we would have to, what would we have to see for us to take a trade, right? Not wanting to force anything, but we're only trying to react off of the information given. So underneath this big resistance zone, we also have a support resistance zone right here as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches at this key zone, which is also, let's say, it is our psychological level is 1.144, right? And that's where where this zone where the zone is, right? So what I would have to see for this to happen is we would have to have some type of pullback back up into here and then drop down here to where we could have a good risk to reward. So if we were to enter right here and our stops went above there to get to here, that's only going to give us a 1-to-1 risk to reward. So you're not wanting to risk $100 to make $100. You want to risk $100 to make 200, or risk $100 to make 250. To where if you are right, or let's say that you are right 50% of the time. So let's say that you win and you also lose the next trade. So what that means is you will take a loss of $100, and then whenever you win, you will take a win of $200. So negative 100 and positive 200 is going to come together to where you are profitable. You are plus $100 now. So that's pretty much what I would have to see here. I don't really want to take a trade down to there. Why? Because I don't think that this week we are going to be able to, on Euro USD, which is a slower moving pair, in a week's time, meaning from like Sunday night to Friday, I don't really see us moving all the way down here. You know, I'm thinking, or I would want to participate in a high quality trade to get to here. And for that to happen, we would have to come back into here and have to where it would be something like this, to where we are risking $100 to make 200 and $217 roughly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an alert somewhere up in here, and if we don't come back up, then there's going to be no trade. So I'm just going to move this pair into waiting for confirmation. Okay, and so I'm going to start everything else down here at the bottom, so we can kind of stay organized, right? So I want to go over a couple of pairs. So let's go to, so we already marked up Euro USD for the week. Let's see what Audi CHF is going to look like. So let's go all the way back up to the weekly time frame. So the weekly time frame is showing us bullish price action. So technically, I'm going to want to see a pullback down to get to this high level of interest right here. Plus, we are in a huge uptrend. So I do not want to sell here at all. So what I'm going to do is say that the weekly time frame is bullish. So from there, we're going to break it down to the daily time frame, meaning that each one of these candles is 1 day's duration, 24 hours. So this actually looks pretty good, because if we were to enter here and put our stop loss below this swing, we would be wanting to get somewhere here. Okay. To this zone, which would be around 100 points. And I think we can do that. I seriously think we can do that. So why did I draw this box right here? So we have a key psychological level at 0.57200. So you want for your psychological levels to have zeros behind them, meaning that it is a big whole number. It's not going to be 0.57143, because there's not going to be many big transactions at that level. There is going to be big reactions at this level, right? So how do I know that? Because I'm going to count the touches at this level. So we have 1 touch, then we have 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch reactions. And so now this is looking like the trade. So let's go down to the 12-hour time frame. Yeah, this looks like a really good A+ setup here. So we do have news coming in at 9:30. What is today? So tomorrow night, we will have news, which is the NAB Business Confidence. It's not that big. And then we have the Westpac consumer confidence change, which should be pretty big. So typically, since we have red folder news, meaning that there is a big financial news category dropping tomorrow, I don't know if I will want to take this trade tonight. So that right there, how I know that is there is something called the economic calendar, right? So let's go ahead and refresh. So you can go to myfxbook.com and the default setting of this website will put you right here, and it'll show you everything that's happening with every major Forex pair for the rest of the week or the month, basically. So that would be 4 a.m. So we do have high news coming in for the Audi around, what time is that? 8 o'clock or so, whatever. So you typically do not want to take trades or enter a trade before a big news event, right? But let's say that we lose. Our weekly is bullish and our daily time frame is also bullish because we're going off of this big bullish engulfing candle right here. So we're making sure that our time frames are aligned and we are abiding by the trend because you don't want to go against the trend. Why? Because 70% of breakouts fail, meaning that 70% of the time the market is going to continue trend. I would rather go with 70% than a 30% breakout. So that being said, our daily is also bullish, meaning that we are a-okay to take bullish trades after it plays out with our criteria. So that's on the daily. Then we're going to go to the 12-hour, and now I want to look at our RSI. So I'm only wanting to buy when we are underneath 50% of the RSI, and then I'll only want to sell if we are above. Because if this line right here is lower than 50, you see right here it says 50 whatever. If we are above that, that means that price is overbought, and if we are below that, that means price is oversold. So we are wanting to buy when we are oversold because there is exhaustion lower, giving us a better inclination for buys, right? So the 12 hours also bullish. So let's see what we would have to see to have a entry on this trade here. So price action is telling us that we had 1, 2, 3 touches and a big engulfing candlestick right here. Meaning that it's way above the last bearish or down close candle. The one thing is that our RSI is very overbought right now. So let's go to the 2-hour and the 1-hour. So if we could have gotten in somewhere right there where our RSI is lower, which is right at market open, this would have been a lot better trade. And so what I kind of want to see here is, okay, if we can pull back into, let's just go from this low to this high. If this right here is called a Fibonacci retracement tool, and this is how I like to set it up. If you want to go to, you're going to right click and go to settings. This is what I have my settings on. This is one of the settings that I have. That's just going to be your 0, your 0.5, and your 1. So the same thing about this is we're going to use this Fibonacci tool exactly how we're using the RSI. So if we can pull back into this 50% retracement, I will then have a big inclination for bullishness. So I want to only buy if we are between 0.5 or lower. So I do want to see us pull back into here before we take buys on the preferably the 4-hour time frame. Looks pretty good. So yeah. So let's go. So we set our alert. meaning that if we go to right there, it will indicate us, hey, we're at the key level that we have been wanting. So from there, I'm waiting for a price action signal and for a RSI to be below 50. So let's go ahead and go to the next pair. So we're just going to leave that under waiting for confirmation, and then we're going to go to Euro CAD. So let's go to the weekly time frame. So we are very choppy. So we are consolidating right now, very big. So we're consolidating between this high point and this low point. We're just going down, up, down, up, down, up. And there's not really an established trend here that I like, because overall we have came down, and we're waiting to see if we are going to break lower or if we are going to continue higher. So we might as well just save this for next week or for another time. This is just what I don't want to see. But hold on here. So our weekly time frame is bearish, meaning that we're leaning to sell. So let's go to our daily and let's fully assess what we have here. So at this key zone right here, we do have some reactions, like this group of wicks is reacting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's just add some market structure to this, right? So higher high, higher low, higher high. Since we just broke that previous high, we went to a higher low, and then we failed to go higher than this previous high, meaning that if we close below the body of this candle, that means that we are leaning to go lower. So we do have a double top formation, and I'm waiting to see for us to close below this level right here. So we can just go to, I don't like that. So there is our break of structure. So now let's go into the 12-hour time frame. So now we know that we are leaning to go bearish. Plus, we also have a head and shoulders formation, meaning that we are wanting to go lower. I know before I said that I wouldn't really want to take this, but zooming into the lower time frames, it gives me a little bit better of a vision for direction. So our daily is also bearish. So our weekly and our daily are now aligned, and we now have a break of structure because we have closed, or we are close to closing on the 12-hour time frame. So I'm going to keep that up. So what we are waiting for here is we have our left shoulder, our head, and now we have our right shoulder to go down. So what I can wait for is, I'm just going to put that right there. We are waiting for a retest of this neckline on a lower time frame. So let's go down to the 4-hour time frame. All right. And so I'm done with this. I've already initialized the pattern. So for me to take a trade in here, my stop would have to be pretty big, and our take profit would be only a 1 to 1.75, meaning that we're risking $100 to make $175, which still is not much of value. Like I said before, we're wanting to risk $100 to make $200. So now what I'm going to do on the 2-hour time frame, I'm going to go from this high to this low, And if we can somehow have a pullback anywhere into here to go lower, so we do have a key level right there for our take profit as well. And we do have another one a little bit lower. So watch this. If we end up getting in somewhere around here, our stop loss will go up there and our take profit will be down here, meaning that that is a 1 to 3 trade. That is beautiful. So if we're risking $100 to make $300, that is more than a 200%. I mean, you're making 3 times how much you're risking. So that is a great investment, right? So let's say that usually you would pay $10 for a shirt. And let's say that they have some sale going on to where you can get 3 shirts on sale for $10 instead of the one shirt on sale for $10, right? So you're getting 3 times as much as you would. That's kind of the concept. So one thing that is standing out is that we are still below the RSI, meaning that we are still kind of oversold. So if we do get a nice pullback into this area, the RSI will then go above 50, and then this would be considered an A plus trade. So I'm going to put an alert right there in the middle, and then I'm going to put another alert right there as well, to where we'll be notified when when the perfect time to enter is. So I'm going to add a little note saying waiting for our RSI to flip and 4-hour engulfing candlestick. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. If that could happen, this would be a beautiful, beautiful trade. So we have our alert set, and hopefully this thing doesn't just go ahead and run. So yeah, that's also falling under the category of waiting for a confirmation. So I'm just going to put all of these under the trash category to where we can just work our way down the list, right? So let's go to GBP, NZD. And I'm probably not going to make it through all 20 pairs tonight. I still got a couple other things to do. But I do think we can go through a couple more to show you guys exactly how to mark this up on Sundays. So, GBP NZD, right? So, what's kind of going on here is we are at a halt at this big key level, which is 1.34, 1.35. That is a good psychological level. So what we've done here is we created a lower low, lower high, then we created a higher low, and then a higher high. So that right there is signaling to me that it could be a possible reversal, because if we fail to go beyond this zone, likelihood is saying that we're going to go lower. So I'm expecting sells here. And then we also have very good price action. Big engulfing candlestick at this key zone that we've already failed 3 times to push through. So we are going to add a note saying that our weekly is bearish. So it's bearish and bullish. Bullish means that you're going up, and bearish means that you're going down, right? So let's go to our daily time frame. So we are extremely overbought right now, which is very good for us, meaning that there's a big likelihood that we could go lower. So So these are our two zones that we're going to be targeting. So our daily is also bearish as well, which is always a good sign to see. So our daily is bearish as well. But the thing is that I'm just gonna have to go through to a lower time frame. So we also have a big head and shoulders pattern, meaning that we are wanting to go lower down to here. So if we can pull back, right? If we can pull back and retest the neckline to go lower, what would our risk to reward be? So this right here is called the neckline. So you have your left shoulder, then you have your head, and then you have your right shoulder, and then now we are just simply displacing. So if we can come back into here, right, and we can tap into that neckline to then, if we can get a good price action signal here, our RSI should go up to where then we could smash down, right? So I'm waiting for that to happen. So I'm going to put my alert around the midpoint of this box, which would mean, so if you go to this little measuring tool right here, it'll show you the exact amount of points that we would have to go up. Gosh, which is 136 points. I doubt that that'll happen, but that is the only reason why I would get into this trade, is if we come back up into that zone, meaning that we would have to, gosh, man, meaning that we would have to go 357 points to the downside. Very low likelihood that'll happen, so I'm going to keep that in the trash bin for now. So now we're going to go to Odd CAD and see what we have there. You know, trading is boring. Like, the companies that do the best are boring, like laundromats, a gas station. You know, it's just boring. And once that's how you know that you're doing something right, because you don't want to be loud and energetic. You want to just hit a slow, consistent base hits. You know, it's just like a baseball game. So let's go to the weekly time frame here. So right now we are just consolidating, meaning that we're going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and then hopefully we can come back down. But that would be going against the trend because we're let's go here to maybe go up, right? So the weekly candle did close bearish. So we're going to go weekly is bearish. So now let's go into the daily, right? And this is the Aussie dollar. So we do have news coming in tomorrow for that pair. See how we're just going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So this is typically where you do not want to trade. This is just like just consolidation. But every time we get up to this zone, we go lower. You know, and every time we get to this zone, we go higher. So I'm anticipating, since we have already went there, well, we came down, we went up, and now we're coming down. This is something that I don't want to trade because, you know, we want to trade with the trend. We want to go up, down, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So this right here is going to go to the bottom of our list, right? This trade does look enticing though, because so our risk to reward is too low anyways to take this trade. But we did break through, retest, and we do have great price action. Meaning that the body of this candle engulfed the last bullish candle. So that is what you want to see. So this right here is something that you would want to take a practice trade on. So that's something that we can add to our notes as well. So we do not want to take this trade live, but we would like to collect data on this trade. So our daily is also bearish, consolidating, or we can just put bearish price action, something like that. So now let's go to like a 2-hour time frame to see if we're even higher on the RSI. So we are not. We are now trailing below, meaning that we do not want to sell here because we are technically oversold. So we do not want to contradict. We just don't want to sell in a bad spot, guys. That's really what it is. So the higher that we go, the higher that we're going to be on the RSI. So we would be risking $100 to make $150 here, and our RSI is not matched either. So I'm just going to leave this tool up to say hypothetically we would have sold there to see what kind of happens, but that's going to stay at the bottom of our chart for now, right? So now we are at GBP NZD. We're coming back up to want to sell in that zone. So our weekly is bearish and our daily is bearish. Cool. So that's going to stay there. So now we're going to go to, we're going to drag that down as well. Right above odd CAD. So we're going to go to GPP odd. So the more experience that you have, you will begin to realize that these certain pairs have characteristics. The GBP odd is very, very sploshy, like really big moves out of nowhere. See how we just trend up and then instantly we just trend down. We have a big, big push up, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So let's see what we're looking at here. So we have history of already taking bullish trades as well, so we don't want to go against that. This is just not what I want to see at all. So we're going to go through this, and this is going to be the last pair for the night. I'm very tired, and yeah, I've had a long weekend, but my whole job here today was to give you guys some context of what we're going to be doing every Sunday night, and soon we'll be doing this in the Discord community. I'm still trying to set that up, and then this will be live every single Sunday throughout the Discord. So let's go ahead and mark this up, and then we'll be done for tonight. So, all right, let me just go ahead and speed run this real quick. So our weekly is bullish. So I'm looking at open, high, low, close to determine if we are bullish or bearish. You can look up how to trade open, high, low, close, preferably by a YouTuber named T Trades, TTRADES on YouTube, and he will show you that concept and break it down very easily like he always does. So really what I'm seeing here is we do have a key level right here, and we are reacting off of that zone. So we would be continuing trend going bullish, but our price action on the daily right now is bearish, which we're basing it off of this candle. So I'm waiting for a good daily flip sometime later in the week. right? So we can just say that our weekly is bullish, waiting for daily to flip bullish as well. So let's go down to the 12 to the 4-hour time frame. Okay. So we are at a good key level right now. So how do you know that? We have 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch. So this right here would be a good trade. Why would this be a good trade? Because we have a big key zone above us, and we do have good price action at this level. And we are still technically underneath the RSI, meaning that is a good time to buy, right? And yet this is another Audi pair, so we do have news coming in tomorrow. I could see us very quickly just coming down lower to get to this zone, especially with this big. So if you look right here, you have the open, high, low, close. If you look at this candlestick right here, and then you look at this number right here, that tells you the value of that candle, which is 37.5 points, which is a pretty big candle. I would really want to put my stop loss lower, or to rather wait for the daily to flip bullish to have a great oh man. 2-hour looks really nice. 1 hour looks very, very enticing, dude. I think I'm going to take this trade. I want to wait for the daily to flip bullish, but I feel like this is just a very good opportunity. We do have GDP coming out on Wednesday or Thursday here. So, we just have so many bullish engulfing looking candlesticks. So let's try to look at some history here. We look like we are cupping up, like we gain big support strength to take us up higher. And historically, if we come back to this level on the RSI, if we have a reaction somewhere around this 36 level here, we tend to go up a lot. So if you're looking at this right here and on the chart, the last time that we were there, right, historically speaking, we traveled 100 points. So we are now there again, right? And if we look at going another 100 points, that is very near to where we want to go. And it's just a little bit riskier of a trade. So normally I would risk $150 per trade since we're up so much in our live account. Right? So last week we're up around $300. The week before that we were up around $200. We did have a couple. This right here is just a bunch of break-even trades that I ended up closing out. Which we were still up. All of this kind of washes because we're plus 200, minus 100, and then minus 100 again. And then we just been trading pretty well. We've been very consistent lately. So, since we have not flipped bullish on the daily, instead of risking $150, I'll be looking to risk $100. And I want to be notified when we come down to this key level if I need to reduce risk or if I need to cut the trade. 2-hour looks very good because we went doji, doji, engulfing up. But if we look from this low to this high, we are still underneath 50% threshold, and we are underneath 50% right there as well, meaning that this has very much upside. So I'm going to take a trade here, and my stop is going to be below this previous swing point. So I'm going to add an order, and our stop loss is going to be, look over here to the right, stop loss is going to be 1.9247. So we're going to add an order, and we're going to go to a market buy, and our stop loss is 1.9247. So we're going to mess with the units to where this number will be $100, meaning that we are risking $100, right? So so let's go around like 32,000 units. Perfect. So we're going to be risking $100. Perfect. And our take profit is going to be here. So if we get somewhere around here, I would then want to reduce risk. And see, we did not wait for a candle closure there. So that could bite us. So I did just go against my rules. Usually I want to buy or sell whenever. So like you see how we have 22 minutes until our next candle closes. That's where I would want to enter. You don't really want to take trades in between open and close. Because we still have 22 minutes that price could do something, right? But I do think that is going to be a fair. So we're going to put that in the live trade category. And how you can do that is you can just right click on a pair and you can just go to add section, and then you'll be able to type whatever you want to kind of stay organized. So with that being said, our weekly is very bullish. We do have wicks up here as well that we're wanting to fill. That makes me very confident. Our daily is wanting to flip bullish, but we still have a good amount of time until then. Our 4-hour looks very, very good. 2-hour, 1 hour. So yeah, oh gosh, I accidentally just reversed the position. That was very stupid. So yeah, that's going to be pretty much it, but that's how we trade every single Sunday. And so I'm going to go through the next 15 pairs. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Sunday night markup, and we'll be back here next week, or may give you a trade update during the week. So yeah, appreciate it. Have a good one and trade well. Bye.